wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I...
Do you have questions about starting a trucking business? Box truck or CDL, I've done both. I can help you start your trucking business or grow your business so that you can buy more trucks. Use the link in the description to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Now let's get to the video. Hey, this is Zach Pasquarello. Good, how are you? Is now still a good time to talk? So what do you got going on? Who would I recommend as a dispatcher? It doesn't matter where you are. So my dispatchers can book loads all over the country. You don't need, so you're in Atlanta, you don't need a dispatcher specifically in Atlanta. But I do have one really good dispatcher who specializes in box trucks. And after this call, I'll give you his information. So the thing about dispatchers is you just kind of have to shop around. You got to do some research on Google. The best way to do it, honestly, is to find other owner-operators like me and get recommendations, because there are tons of dispatchers out there who are just starting up, tons of dispatchers out there who are in different countries trying to make a quick buck. And so you really want to make sure you get someone who is legitimate, established, and the best way to do that is to get referrals from people like me. So I'll give you my guys' information, and then maybe ask around, ask some other owner operators that you might know, but it doesn't matter where the dispatcher is. He can be in California booking loads in Florida. He doesn't have to be local. Yeah, after this call, I'll give you his email and his information. Who are the brokers? So brokers work all over the country, just like dispatchers, and brokers are the middlemen between the shipper and the carrier. So you're the carrier, and Walmart and Lowe's and Home Depot and Amazon, they're the shipper. So the broker is just like the real estate agent. He connects the carrier and the shipper. And brokers are all over the place. There's really big brokers like C.H. Robinson and Total Quality Logistics and Landstar and J.B. Hunt and Ryan Transportation. There's really big brokers. And then there's, little guys are just getting started. So there's all types of brokers out there. But you're going to find the brokers on what's called the DAT load board. So if you're not familiar with it already, it's like you have to pay like $35 a month for access to the DAT load board. And it's just like, if you've ever looked at the real estate market, it's just like realtor.com. It's, like real estate agents post all of the houses they're trying to sell on realtor.com. The same thing with brokers. They post all of the loads they're trying to move on the DAT load board. So you can search through the DAT load board right on your computer or on your iPad or on your phone, and you'll be able to basically connect with brokers straight from the load board. Yeah, so first of all, how much money can you make net income after all expenses? And you already said it, but that number varies wildly. Like you've already said, it all depends on the cost of your truck, the cost of fuel. But seriously, you can make $1,500 a week. Like that's no lie. You can definitely make $1,500 a week after all expenses. But you're gonna have to put in the work. So you're gonna have to drive at least 2,000 miles a week. If you drive 2,500 miles a week, plan on making probably $2,000 a week. If you drive 3,000 miles a week, maybe you're gonna make $2,500 a week net income. But you gotta at least drive 2,000 miles a week. Gross revenue is really simple to calculate. All you take is the miles you drive and the rate per mile you're going to get. Typically, the rate per mile you're going to get is $1.80. You might be able to get $2 a mile, but that's a little aggressive, and you're probably not going to average that. So I would say you'll be able to get reasonably, like absolutely, you'll be able to get $1.80 a mile, especially just getting started. Maybe 6 months into it, once you get more experience, you'll be able to get more money. But just getting started, plan on making $1.80 a mile, and plan on driving 2,500 miles every week. So all you have to do to figure out your gross revenue before expenses is just 2,500 times 1.8, which is $4,500 revenue per week. So there's a couple variables, and you can mess around with the numbers. So I would say $1.80 on the low end and $2 a mile on the high end. So you can fluctuate between $1.80 and $2 a mile, and you can also fluctuate between 2,000 and 3,000 miles per week. So you can do a range. You can say, okay, bare minimum, I'll do 2,000 miles times $1.80. Best case scenario, I'll do 3,000 miles times $2 a mile. So you're going to be somewhere between like $4,000 and $6,000 a week. Man, Amazon Relay is okay, but you're not going to make as much money as you would doing long haul on the DAT load board. You're definitely not going to be, at least getting started, you're not going to be able to drive 500 miles a day with Amazon, because from my experience, now everyone's experience is a little bit different, but from my experience, Amazon loads were running from like 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. So I would pick up at an Amazon at 2 a.m. and then between like 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. I would deliver to like 3 to 6 post offices. And I was driving like 200 to 300 miles per day, and I was making like $400 to $600 per day. So I wasn't able to drive as many miles as I could doing long haul on the DAT load board. But you were making the rate per mile, so you were definitely making at least $2 a mile. And the other good part is you can stay local. So you can stay like within 150 miles of your house if you don't want to drive all over the country. But also you can drive all over the country if you want. You can go from Atlanta to Richmond, from Richmond to Baltimore, from Baltimore to New Jersey. You can kind of like piece together Amazon runs going from city to city to city if you want to do it like that. Well, so that's the bad part about Amazon is if you want to stay local, it's not very good. If you're willing to go out on the road for a week or 2 weeks at a time, you'll be able to save money and make more money because you can do the longer runs. You can go from, like I said, Atlanta to Richmond to Baltimore, and you don't have to worry about coming back home. So that's what kills so many people is that they'll be in Atlanta and they'll take a load with Amazon from Atlanta to Columbus, and then all of a sudden they'll be in Columbus and they'll be like, oh shoot, like I'm empty, now I got to go back home to Atlanta. So they're getting paid to drive from Atlanta to Columbus, and they get paid good, to maybe go 150 miles, they'll get paid $300, but then they got a deadhead, it's called deadhead, driving empty. They got to drive empty all the way from Columbus, Georgia, back home to Atlanta. So that's what kills people. But if you're willing to go from Atlanta to Columbus, Columbus to Jacksonville, Jacksonville to Orlando, if you're able to go like that, you'll be able to save because you're not driving empty to get home every day. I would say generally you can make more money on the DAT load board because you can get more miles. Because there aren't Amazon loads going 500, 600, 700 miles. Like that just doesn't really happen. How many trips you're gonna do per day with Amazon, and how many miles you're gonna drive per day with Amazon. So from my experience, I was only able to do 1 load per day. I've seen other guys doing 2 loads per day. I don't really know how they're doing it so you need to have early access to the load board. So at least for the first 6 weeks, you will not have early access to the load board. So you won't be able to see all of the loads that the more experienced guys can see. And so for me, I was only able to see like 1 load per day per city. So like I was not. So like I said, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And it would be great to pick up something 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., but I just wasn't seeing that second load available. So for me, conservatively, I would plan on only being able to do 1 run per day and only driving 300 miles per day and making gross revenue $600 per day. Conservatively, maybe best case scenario, you do 2 loads per day and you run 600 miles and make $1,200 a day, but I would not plan your business with that assumption because if it doesn't pan out, your numbers are going to be all jacked up.